This is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. It's Tuesday, May 11th. What a day. Good day. Sun was out Monday, got to barbecue a little bit, got to work on the bike, was happy. And then I was thinking about the Giants. And I was thinking about poor Dave Gettleman. Dave Gettleman has taken a lot of crap over his tenure with the Giants, and if you really take a look at what he had to deal with, he was left a mess. Jerry Reese, for all his accolades from winning 2 Super Bowls, and technically I give the first Super Bowl to Ernie Accorsi, but Jerry Reese did win a Super Bowl. He's not like a Barry Switzer who took over for Jerry Jones and then drove the Cowboys into the ground, but won a championship before the whole team imploded. He was, I'm not going to compare him to that. But when Gettleman came in, he came into a no-win situation with Odell Beckham, Jason Pierre-Paul, the bad contracts, Olivier Vernon, bada, 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 bada. So what I want to do, though, is, and this is not my farewell, because like I said, I'm not totally leaving. This is not my farewell. But I laugh because one subscriber said, I don't mind. It's, it sucks that you're leaving, but you better not be dying or something. And no, I'm not dying. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not dying. I just can't do this all the time. That's all. No big deal. No big deal. It's fun. It's been a good run. I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few. All done again, too few to mention. But what am I getting to Gettleman? I've never been tough. I don't want to say I've been tough on Gettleman. I've been saying I've always been fair and I've been honest and I've given him credit where credit is due. I didn't like some of his drafts. I didn't like some of his picks. Hold on, I'm going to move the microphone. There we go. I didn't like some of his picks. But it was nothing that was, it was nothing ever personal, we'll say, against me and the Gettleman. But I do want to apologize to Big Dave because if you take a look at what he's just done recently, agree with it or disagree with it, he has put the team potentially to be on the map in regards to just, potentially making the playoffs and moving forward. And he started doing that last year. Now, his first draft is not panning out like we thought it would with Barkley and and Will Hernandez and everyone else, and Lorenzo Carter and B.J. Hill. And his second draft is not very much better right now unless Daniel Jones turns the corner. No Shane Zimenez figures something out. So this third draft, do I have high hopes for this third draft? Sure, I got high hopes for the draft. Everyone does. I still don't think Tony is and now if you look outside the marketplace of New York or the Giant fans, Tony was not high as he was taken. So yeah, outside, the highest pick that I've seen for Tony outside of Giant YouTubers and social media is a B+ for the Tony pick. He would have been better off going to a team like Green Bay or going to a team like Cleveland. But Gettleman has put the franchise, and again, I'm going to apologize to Dave Gettleman. I'm sorry. By saying, you know what? You potentially put the Giants in a position to win this year. Last year was a surprise. I'm going to tell you right now, we are not going to sneak up on anyone this year. The league, and I've said this a million times, the league now has film on the defense. Thank God they got film on the offense because the offense was so bad that we're probably not going to go that direction. But they now have film on the defense. They understand how the defense is run and how the defense is run by substitution. So now what does Dave Gettleman go out? Dave Gettleman went out and found additional pieces for the defense. You go out and you pick up a corner. You go out and pick up Ojulari. I like the Reggie Ragland signing because it's a 1-year deal. And he's a run stopper. Everyone's so pumped up with Danny Shelton, and I still think there's going to be an issue in the line because Danny Shelton, if you actually look at him statistically, has performed better as a pass rusher over the last 3 years than he has against defending the run. And you're going to have to rely a lot on Austin Johnson. But Gettleman has put the pieces in place to potentially make a playoff push this season. Will it happen? I don't know. Because it's all going to rest on Jason Garrett and Daniel Jones. But what Gettleman has done, and what I want to apologize for, is the fact that he may not be here next year, Big Dave. If the Giants don't win next year, he's not going to be here. I don't care if they finish 7-10, and they cut it down the wire. He's not going to be here. Ownership's going to make him the scapegoat for having another non-successful season. But whoever his predecessor is, he has not left the cupboard empty like Jerry Reese did to Dave Gettleman. Gettleman is leaving the next person with assets, not only draft assets, but valuable. We should rephrase that. Hopefully the assets are valuable in regards to being lower contracts on young players. We do have some issues, and now he did leave he might have left a little mess on the kitchen table because of the fact that we don't know what the 2022 cap space is even going to look like. But he has left it to the point that he understands that he gathered the assets just in case Daniel Jones throws up a stinker in 2021. And that's really what it's about. What if he throws up a stinker? What happens then? Gettleman has put together the draft assets to move Daniel Jones. He can't move him contractually because he's still going to take the cap hit. But if he needs to trade up or trade down to get it, not trade down, but if he needs to trade up to get his quarterback or the person coming in has to go get their quarterback, they have the necessary cap space to do that. You have to remember if Gettleman is replaced, Joe Judge and Daniel Jones are not the quarterback and the head coach of the new general manager. So both of them will be on a hot seat. And that's what we need, and that's what you need to address, and that's what you need to figure out. In some ways, that's what I think Gettleman did. Gettleman addressed the need that if he gathered an insurance policy, that if Daniel Jones tanks, he will have the ability, or his predecessor will have an ability to move on from the quarterback. Plain and simple. And I mean extremely plain and simple. Now we have to look at it in regards to that. So you know what? In some ways you got to, like I said, some ways you got to say sorry to Dave. Because Dave has taken the crap by a lot of fans. Some fans love him. I would say the majority of fans don't. I think there's a good contingency that, didn't want him. And if you read some of the posts and things, you can see that. But like I said, I think Dave is the guy. I don't think he's the guy, but I think he was the guy. I think he was the right guy for the Giant job at that point in time, which is why he went with the Giants. Or I should say why the Giants went with him. Should rephrase that. So, Dave, I'm sorry, my friend. I'm sorry, Dave. I just want to say that heartfeltly. Devonta Smith, I laugh because Devonta Smith, more and more keeps coming out that the dude just wanted to be a Giant. How bad do you feel for Devonta Smith? I mean, honestly, you don't feel bad for him now because now he's an Eagle. But how bad did you feel for him on draft day? And now he's on podcasts and other things, basically just saying, dude, I just want to be a Giant. He thought he was going with the Giants. At first he thought he was going with the Panthers. But I feel bad for the kid. I mean, you're going into a no-win situation in Philadelphia. I mean, you're not in a good situation in Philly, and that's going to be putting it mildly. And for him to actually come out and say, it's not that he's saying he didn't want to be an Eagle. He's just basically saying, I didn't really want to be an Eagle. I mean, does anyone want to be an Eagle? Does anyone want to go to Philadelphia? I mean, really, come on. Can we be honest about that? But you know what? You gotta love the honesty. Again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue. We'll bring you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could subscribe, if you're reading that, that'd be awesome.